The time to undo the mess is finally here. Jupiter Venus will be conjunct in the sign of Gemini from 26th of July this year to 20th of August this year. Oof, finally some relief, because this Mars Ketu conjunction, which is going on in the sky at the moment, they are very, very, very close. Well, we have seen what has happened. Lots and lots of fire instances, and even today also there is some fire somewhere in some plane or something like that. We saw the crash in Bangladesh also recently. So it's it's a very powerful energy, because see, whenever Mars Ketu are conjunct, it is not like fire plus fire, nor is it fire multiplied by fire. It is fire to the power fire. Imagine how much fiery it is. Therefore, we need to understand that whenever Mars and Ketu are together in the sky or even in our birth chart, there's a very high probability that our speech is not controlled. We speak things that we regret later. We do things that we regret later. Our sexuality is out of control. Our intelligence is not functioning properly because it's like too much fire. So when you go to a room, imagine there's a small room and there is a big grand chandelier. It's like huge, massive. Now, when the chandelier is on, what happens? You can't see anything, right? Because there's too much light. It's beyond the capacity of your eyes and your body. So it's exactly the current situation. So as of now, what is happening? Too many expectations, too much detachment. So Mars is desire, Ketu is detachment. So it's like saying you desire something but you don't get. So then you get so frustrated that you become detached, right? But that's fake detachment. It is not a natural detachment. It's not a natural consequential detachment. It is a artificially imposed, this fake pretentious detachment where we claim to not need anything or anybody. So it's not actually detachment. But now what will happen is, in another 3-4 days, Venus will go into the sign of Gemini, conjunct Jupiter. So this is very, very, very beautiful, because both are natural benefics finally. Now, what does it mean? Two natural benefics are together. What does it mean? Like, does it mean there will be no problems in life? Everything will be fantastic. Well, not actually, not really. It could be, but what it literally means is, now the good sense will prevail in people to a large extent. So this is what it means. So then, how do we use it? How does it benefit us? Well, it's very simple. Work on the areas that you are inspired by. Work on the areas that you are excited about. Meet people that you love, meet people that you enjoy spending time with. And along with that, you also need to understand that during this Mars Ketu conjunction, during 1 or 2 months, in the last 1 month or 2 months, wherever, or maybe even before, if you did mistakes, like for example, you spoke badly to somebody, to your friend or to your spouse or to some family member or anybody, now is the time you go and apologize to that person, and you try to start your relationship again. Because now what is happening, good sense will prevail in people will be a bit more forgiving. But please understand, because Mars Ketu are together, so there could be a situation where people are coming, when you apologize, when you try to reconnect with people, they may keep telling, oh, you did this, you did that. Okay, they may uh, yeah, they may take their revenge. Okay. So you need to understand, this good energy is there, but this tamasic energy is also there. Mars Ketu are still conjunct, right? So therefore, please understand that you might have to have some humility before doing it. Or if you left some project before, now you can restart it, because now there will be inspiration, there will be attraction, there will be love, there will be sincerity. Jupiter Venus shows devotion. And Gemini, as you know, is the sign of communication. So it's the sign where something begins, it's like something kicks off finally. Okay. It does not show the beginning of the project, but it shows, like, it does not show the planning. It does not show infrastructure, architecture, but it shows something has happened, like Griha Pravesh, for example. Or, it's like marriage, like event of wedding, it happened. Okay. So it requires a lot of planning. For Griha Pravesh, you have to buy the house, you have to do registry, all these things, right? And then finally, on the day of Griha Pravesh, it kicks in. Okay. From that day or from the next day, you start staying. Okay. Yeah. So that means you need to understand that along with the good and the bad, you also have to use your intelligence. Okay. So therefore, the best way you can utilize this transit is by being sincere, by being honest, and by being humble. Maybe this is the recipe for every transit, but for specifically this transit, this is this should be your approach, where you realize, okay, there are certain things I enjoy and there are certain things I don't enjoy. So the things that I enjoy doing more, I should do more of that. And the things that I don't enjoy, I should gradually try to reduce it to an extent that it does not disrupt my life, or rather give it up completely. And it is a wonderful time to work on your family, to go on a vacation with your spouse, to have a good time with your loved ones. It's a fantastic period to start something in social media, as I already gave the prediction recently that, like 50% of the world will be jobless by 2030, and yeah, the number could go up to 60-70% in 2032, and 80-90% by 2035. Okay. So Gemini, as you know, is the sign of communication, social media, and two natural benefits are here. So it is the best time to start some social media related work. So if you have some talent, you can share it with people via Instagram or YouTube, LinkedIn, X, or whatever, whichever way you are comfortable. If you're more comfortable writing, then you may use LinkedIn. So at the end of the day, you need to understand that now this period I need to utilize to express myself, express my creativity, because Gemini is a great sign and these two planets are the greatest of the benefics. So now you need to express yourself. Okay, expressing yourself doesn't mean, becoming nude or, sexuality and all this. Okay, because Gemini also shows that, unfortunately. But you need to understand that if you want to sustain long term in life, you need to have something creative which you really believe in. It's like something which you will never give up. As they say, if you have nothing to die for, you have nothing to live for. So figure out what is something which you are ready to die for. What are some of the non-negotiables in your life? And when I say non-negotiables, I'm not talking in terms of crude elements, like, oh, this is my boundary, you can't do this to me. No, I'm not talking of that. It's something very simple, like you love to do cooking, you love to do singing, you love to dance. Okay, so these are some activities which should actually be non-negotiable. It could be anything: writing, social media, arts, creativity, anything. It could be learning astrology, it could be teaching astrology, it could be consulting people, it could be anything. Okay, learning psychology, it could be learning about, stock market, real estate, whatever, doesn't matter. But identify within yourself, what are my non-negotiables in a good sense. What are some of the things which I am not ready to trade off for any amount of money or any amount of other pleasure. Like, for example, you do something on the weekends and then you get another job where they say, you have to work on the weekends and we will pay you double the salary. Okay, or maybe hypothetically 30%, 40% more. So you say, no, no, I will not join it. Maybe I earn 20-30% less, or maybe even I earn half, but I'm able to do these activities more. For some people, they prefer to have a job where they start working, like at 10 to 6 or something like that, so that they can do spiritual practices in the Brahma Muhurat, and yeah, they can have a morning program, right, till 8 or 9, and they can go to the office or start working, something like that. So therefore, you need to understand that this is a period where I can fly, basically. But that's the thing, you must have something, you must have a location to fly. You can't just be like loose and relaxed and, just do nothing. No, I'm not talking on that kind of, relaxation. You can relax also, but you need to have a goal, right? In life, There has to be a destination always. And having a destination does not mean you only have a destination and you are least bothered about the journey. No, this is the journey of life where we have a destination and there are checkpoints in between. But there is the journey also. The journey also ideally should be beautiful. We should try to make it beautiful to whatever extent we can, right? We may not be able to do it 100% because Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, the material world is a place of misery. So don't expect 100% happiness. Don't expect 100%. Forget 100, even like 50% happiness is big thing, right? Like if you see in your life, most of the things, most of the times it is bad or it is negative. Very rarely you will find good things happen in life or other great things happen in life. The probability of the material world giving you suffering is exponentially more than giving you pleasure, right? For example, you can take the example of your body, right? So you have the liver. So how can the liver give you pleasure directly? Of course, it indirectly does. It keeps your body functioning and all. So that's perfect. I mean, it has hundreds of functions in the body. But can it directly give you pleasure, your liver, lungs, kidney, or whatever? No, right? But can it directly give you pain? Oh, God. Liver cirrhosis, fatty liver, this, that, my God, it can wreak havoc, right? So it can give you indirect problems, like it can indirectly give you happiness, but it can also give you direct suffering and it cannot give you direct pleasure. So the material world is made in such a way that the quantity of suffering is much more compared to happiness. Okay. Of course, we are in the Bhuloka, and in the Bhuloka, the suffering and happiness is like in general, it is balanced. So if you have a reasonably good life, if you lead a dharmic life, you will have suffering and happiness, it will be relatively balanced. Okay. But there is suffering. So amidst of all this, we need to identify what we are good at or what we are interested in. So the more you identify that and the more you capitalize on it, the more you'll be happy. Okay. So therefore, please understand that this is a period where we have to sort the problems, we need to we need to clear up the mess and reduce the things that give us pain and suffering to whatever extent possible. And on the other side, on the positive side, improve our skills, creativity, knowledge, become a better human being. In short, it would be going to sports, playing tennis, cricket, football, whatever it is that better, or your chart will tell that better. But at the end, become a better person, and if not better, clean up the mess that you created in the past 2 months. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget with the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. God is there with you all the time. Just look to him and you'll find him. And for personalized consultations, you can always go to my website down in the description section. Take care. Jai Siya Ram.